The forest in Blackwater Ridge doesn't welcome anyone. Even in the daylight, it feels dim. The canopy too thick, the air too cold, and the wind too quiet. The fog is settled in thick, oppressive. It feels more akin to a mausoleum than a woodland. And tonight, something truly wicked had carved its mark. Flashlights sweep the trees, slicing through fog. Yellow police tape trembles in the wind.
This is the third one in 2 weeks, Mara. We can't keep telling folks it's a cougar.
We won't. Not after this.
Detective Mara Cole kneeled beside the body, or whatever remained of it. A young man in his mid-20s, his torso torn open, ribs like cracked branches, blood already drying black on the leaves. His limbs are twisted, not torn, twisted, as if forced into unnatural angles by an impossible strength. CSI Officer Rowan Vale crouched beside Mara, snapping photos with steady hands despite the smell of iron and damp earth.
Rowan, you got a time of death for me?
In these conditions, considering ambient temperature, I'd say about an hour ago.
An hour ago? Oh, too soon for me. Whatever killed him might still be nearby.
No claw marks. No bite radius that I can match to any animal. But look here. There are fractures along the humerus and radius. Whatever did this didn't just overpower him. It crushed his bones with incredible force from the outside. It's excessive.
That weren't no animal done that. Something tortured that man.
Sheriff Joel Harker's voice carried the steady tone of a man who'd seen ugliness on a level unmatched. War, cruelty, murder. He'd been around the block during his life, and even now, he recognized that whatever was in front of him was beyond any of that. This was different. The fog swirled past him as he stood alert over the corpse, his eyes scanning the shadows with the wariness of a soldier. Officer Benny Alvarez, young and pale, forcing himself to look at the crime scene before him.
So what are you saying? If it's not an animal you can recognize, do you think a person did this?
No human can do this. Something else, maybe.
All right. Let it out there, rookie.
The forest seemed to breathe at that moment. A slow exhale shifting along the branches overhead, shedding droplets onto the task force. Everyone felt it. A presence. Watching. Listening. Ranger Evie Shaw emerged from between two massive cedar trunks, mud up to her knees. Her ranger jacket was glistening with moisture from the fog. She carried herself in a manner of confidence and authority. She knew these woods like the back of her hand.
Detective Mara, Detective Joel, I found tracks, but you're not going to like them.
Evie motioned them over, and they followed her deeper into the brush. Their beams cut through fog until a patch of disturbed earth appeared before them. There, on the ground, massive prints were apparent. They were long, narrow, and deep, with long crescent-shaped impressions where claws would be.
Sweet mother of mercy. That's upright. Damn, this thing it's two-legged, ain't it?
And heavy. Heavier than anything we have in these woods. Thing is, that's not the worst part.
The ranger crouched and then brushed her fingers over the soil. A dark, oily substance glistened faintly on her glove.
This isn't sap. And it's not blood either.
Alright. Let me collect that. Whatever it is, it's not natural.
The air grew colder, enough so that each exhale could be visible before them. Sheriff Joel Harker raised his flashlight toward the ridgeline, just as a shadowy blur moved out of view.
What's that up there? No, probably ain't nothing. Probably just a damn deer spooked by all these lights. Alright, everybody, let's stay focused and...
That's not a deer, Sheriff.
No, but it certainly sounds like something's trying to send us a message.
The entire task force stood in silence, the fog muffling every sound aside from the low reverberation rolling across the forest floor. The growl, it seemed to come from every dark corner in the forest, above, behind, even beneath the trees.
We need to expand the perimeter. Whatever killed him hasn't gone far.
Or maybe it ain't even left this place at all.
As the team pushed further toward the northern ridge, Rowan, the CSI tech, circled a drone through the area. Shane considered his technical interest an invaluable asset for cases like this.
Evie, take a look. I can see your entire forest with this thing.
It doesn't know what I know.
Huh.
Did you know predators often revisit a kill site? Maybe you should send it to check back at the camp.
Good idea. You got it.
Deftly, Rowan flew the drone back toward their base camp, and in doing so, spotted something they hadn't seen before.
Detective Mara, you need to see this. ASAP.
He pulled up the drone footage on his tablet. Despite the footage being shaky and low lit, it was clear enough to show the body's surroundings. In the corner of the frame, drawn into the soil beside a log, was a symbol. It was circular in nature and featured strange weaves.
That wasn't near the body earlier. And it looks almost like the shape of a crescent.
Yeah, and it looks fresh. Like it was drawn minutes before we got here.
Looking like some kind of ritual crap to me.
The team pondered the possibilities and eventually made their way back to where they found the body. Not too far off in the distance was the symbol the drone footage had captured. Mara went ahead of the others and kneeled beside the symbol to take a closer look. It was carved into the ground rather deeply, almost unnaturally so. It was as if it were seared into it with some kind of heat.
This is definitely not a ritual. This is a warning of some sort.
A warning? To who?
Before the detective could answer, another sound tore through the trees. It wasn't a growl this time, but a voice. A voice that sounded wrong. Unnatural. Layered. As if spoken by someone standing in 5 different places at once.
You are where the moon has chosen. Leave the dead to the shadows.
Christ! What was that?
Identify yourself.
Silence follows the demand. Sinister. Non-compliant. Then, another sound. Wet. Heavy. A drop of something thick suddenly fell on Mara's shoulder. She touched it slowly, and then looked at her fingers. Blood. Quickly, she tilted her flashlight up. A second body. It was hung in the canopy overhead by sinew-thin strands of shadows, swaying gently like a puppet on strings.
Oh, hell. Has been up there the whole time?
Those cords holding it. They don't look like vines. They're moving.
The dark strings were writhing like living tendrils of shadow, pulsing as though carrying breath or blood alike. And just barely visible by flashlight, the same symbol seared into the ground was seared onto the skin of the body's chest.
I've never seen anything like that.
Ranger Evie took a few steps back instinctively, her boot cracking a twig in the process. A low howl then erupted behind them, impossibly close in such a short amount of time. Sheriff Joel Harker spun around first, alert as ever.
Contact. Behind the cedars, there's movement.
Flashlights whipped across trees, and there, between the tree trunks, stood 2 silhouettes. One of them was enormous, humanoid but lupine, a bit taller than a doorframe. The creature's fur was matted with some kind of dark fluid, the outline of his ribs visible beneath. White irises beamed softly like moonlight.
That's a frickin' werewolf.
Beside it stood a figure that was slim, tall, and entirely cloaked in a darkness that swallowed light itself. There was no face, no features. It appeared to be a shifting umbral void beneath a hood. The entity raised a shadowy hand and gestured, almost casually. The shadows around the trees rippled outward suddenly.
Back! Back! Get back! Everybody fall back!
The team scrambled, guns raised, but the shadows surged, like a tide swallowing the ground. It distorted the fog with shimmering black threads. The warlock then spoke. Its voice multiplied, echoing in a manner so surreal.
You trespass where the moon's child feeds. Turn back, mortals, or join the soul beneath you.
El Diablo.
Benny, come on!
Ranger Evie grabbed Officer Benny by the collar as he stumbled, dragging him out of the encroaching darkness as quickly as she could.
Mara, move!
She stood frozen, not in fear, but in recognition. She noticed that beneath all the fur, there was a symbol glowing faintly on its chest. It was the same exact symbol carved into the soil.
This creature, it's bound by something.
A clever mortal, but knowledge won't save you.
God damn it, Mara, move!
The werewolf then crouched, its muscles tensing as claws sank into the dirt. The team readied their weapons, aiming right at the beast. The creature prepared to lunge in response. And then, the forest held its breath.
Back at the crime scene lab in town, Dr. Crane was examining the victims of the Blackwater murders. With her, she had a team of investigators coming in to gather more intel in regard to the attack.
Detective Shane, I don't even know how to write half this report. Their bodies, it's almost like something bit them in half.
Or tore them.
Well, speaking of tore, there is some scoring on the rib cages. It's deep and curved, almost like claws.
Wolves don't do this. Bears don't do this. I mean, when they're hungry, they'll lick the bones clean, but not like this. Hell, this was like a damn horror flick.
In the forest, I found more prints leading north, but they're just weird. They keep shifting between human and animal.
Shifting? You mean like you found two sets? Like someone following a dog?
No, I mean the same prints. They were human, and then...
Maybe your casting powder was off, and your imprint results are wrong.
My casting powder is fine, sir. We should be focusing on figuring out what did this to the other team.
Detective Shane stepped between them, eyes narrowed toward the nearby table of collected evidence.
Let's stick to the facts. Dr. Crane, any sign that the victims fought back? Any bullet casings?
Yeah, that's right. Officer Dana found some casings earlier. As for the victims, though, come here, take a look at this bruise. About the size of a human hand, right? But this one over here suggests they were grabbed by something much larger. And there is one more thing. Actually, come over here. See this wound on the shoulder? Completely cauterized, burned shut, which means something seared the flesh as it tore through it.
So, fire, magic, heat ray, what are we looking at?
She meant it as a joke. No one laughed.
None of the above, Detective.
Ruth, see if one of the locals will offer us some of their expertise. Maybe one of the rangers or guides down in those parts. Sergeant Pearson, please get the K9 unit. We're going back out there.
After the task force was assembled per the detective's request, they made their way back out to the forest where they had their work cut out for them. Sergeant Pearson recruited Officer Nathan, with his K9 named Buddy. In addition to the team, Detective Ruth was able to convince one of the local guides to come along. a man in his 50s by the name of Caleb.
Well, Buddy's got something. He keeps circling this one spot.
He brought me out here because I know these woods. So listen when I tell you. We're being watched.
Officer Nathan's German Shepherd tensed and suddenly arched his back and growled.
Whoa, boy, easy, easy. What do you see?
Wow. You both have come a long way, Nathan. Glad you're with us.
Oh, geez. Thanks, Dana. Buddy can be a handful, but he's smart.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Did you hear that?
Everyone, freeze.
Detective Shane crouched beside the nearest track on the ground. It was huge, larger than a man's foot, but ending in elongated digits tipped with deep claw impressions. It was too deep for any normal animal. Then, overlaying it, was a bare human footprint.
It's almost like it's changing form.
Then it's exactly what I feared.
Oh, here it comes.
A werebeast bound to a shadow magus. The mage bends its shape and controls the hunger. It sends it hunting.
Caleb placed a hand on his knife, as if it provided him some form of comfort and security. It was a knife handed down to his family over the course of several generations, something he'd go nowhere without. He set his eyes on the track, his realization of the situation setting in.
This is insane.
Shane, look at the change in depth. It's smooth. Like it's a single footprint from one creature.
Caleb, if you're right, what else should we be expecting?
A man, or something wearing the idea of a man. Hooded, silent, eyes like dead lanterns. A binder of shadows.
Whatever this damn thing is, I trust you to figure it out, Shane. I put everything on the line to support you.
I know, Sarge. I got this. Just let me think.
Buddy suddenly whined and pressed himself against Nathan's leg. And then, everyone heard it. A whisper, right behind them.
Who said that?
Alright, which one are you?
The voice slithered around them, above them, everywhere, except for a single direction.
Weapons up! Form a perimeter! And watch your back, guys.
Stay alert. That wasn't any of us.
There's something moving out there. Fast.
A blurred shape of black fur and a massive frame moved between the trees. Too fast to track, too large to be natural. Detective Shane only caught a flash of teeth, like polished bone.
The werebeast.
But where's the...
The second presence arrived like a curtain of darkness being drawn upright. A figure stood between two trees, motionless. Cloaked entirely in shadow, the hood swallowed all light. For a moment, Shane only saw the void. Then two faint yellow sparks opened within the hood. Eyes.
Show your hands! Now!
You shouldn't have come looking.
Down. Down on the ground.
The hooded figure did not move. It didn't have to. Because the woods behind Pearson erupted with a growl that rattled their bones.
Shane, behind you!
The werewolf stepped into half-light, towering, its muscles rippling beneath matted fur. Its eyes locked onto Shane with a terrifying intelligence, eyes glowing like small moons. In the werewolf's claws hung a bloody piece of torn fabric. It was one of the victim's shirts.
Your fate was sealed when you touched our ground.
Fire if it moves!
I got your back, Shane!
This was no longer an investigation. This was survival. Chaos detonated across Blackwater Ridge. Muzzle flashes strobed the darkness as the werewolf barreled into the investigative team like a living freight train of muscle and malice. 8 investigators came into these woods, and not all of them were going to leave in one piece.
Damn it!
It's on me! I can't get it off!
Dana! Move! Move!
Shane fired, each shot punching into the creature's back, but it barely flinched in response.
Shane!
The werewolf swung a massive claw and then sent Dana tumbling across the clearing like a rag doll.
Nathan, buddy, get to her! Hurry!
Buddy, heal! Heal, damn it!
Buddy, the canine, barked furiously, trembling between his instincts to fight and to protect. The werewolf snarled and lunged toward Shane. And a column of shadow slammed the creature aside. The shadow magus stepped forward, cloak dragging like spilled ink across the forest floor.
Flesh before fury, my pet. Don't waste yourself on these scraps.
Who the hell are you?
Simply an entity hungry for the quiet. A man who claimed this land. And you are intruders.
Intruders?
What do you want?
To be left alone with my creature. My sanctuary. My silence.
The werewolf rose once more, body shifting with murderous tension, awaiting its master's command.
Shane, I'm hit. Something torn in my side.
Stay down, Pearson. We're getting you out of here. Just hang in there.
We need to break the bond. The Magus controls the beast. If he falls, so does it.
Very good, woodsman. But you forget. I am never alone.
Shadows peeled from the trees like ink dripping upward. Tendrils coiled like snakes, forming into various snarling and flickering shapes. The magus lifted a hand, and every shadow in the clearing mimicked the motion.
Everyone, fall back! Form a line!
Shane, Dana's not breathing.
Dana! Dana?
Officer Dana laid motionless on the leaves, blood pooling beneath her. Buddy nudged her shoulder, whining out of worry for the deceased officer. Detective Ruth checked Dana for signs of life.
No pulse. Eyes aren't dilating.
No.
She's dead.
No. Dana. Stay with me. Please.
You came hunting death. Don't cry when you find it.
You bastard!
Detective Shane fired the last of his bullets directly at the magus's chest, but the rounds disappeared into the figure like they were absorbed by the void itself.
Physical force will do you no good.
Then we go after what will!
Shane glanced at Ruth, and then back toward the werewolf.
You can't kill that thing with a sidearm, Shane. Are you mad?
We don't kill it. We separate it from him.
This time, Shane glanced over at Nathan and Buddy, the look in his eyes determined to end this once and for all. enough was enough. Dana was one of the brightest officers that specialized in evidence technology, and she had so much more to accomplish in her life, including marrying her fiancé. To die like this, out in the middle of nowhere, it was unfair. Nathan, affected by the loss, reciprocated Shane's determination.
You want Buddy to draw the beast.
He's fast enough to bait it, and you're fast enough to avoid getting shredded.
Okay, Buddy. You up for a miracle?
Nathan released Buddy, and the dog sprinted past the werewolf, nipping at the creature's leg. The werewolf bellowed and gave chase, abandoning the Shadow Magus's side for an instant. That instant was just long enough.
Shane, no!
Shane and Caleb rushed the Shadow Magus, tendrils of darkness whipping at them in the process, tearing clothing, cutting skin, but they continued to push through it all. Caleb drove the knife into the wizard's chest, and for the first time, the Shadow Magus staggered. The knife that Caleb used was imbued with a special blessing that could pierce past the veil of the entity, a blessing handed down by several generations of his people.
This is my forest.
The shadows convulsed violently. The werewolf faltered mid-stride, howling in confusion as its body spasmed relentlessly.
It's working! Keep going!
This land was never yours! From my ancestors and the ancients before you! Take this!
Shane grabbed the Magus by the cloak, the entity becoming tangible after coming in contact with Caleb's knife. He pulled the Magus downward, allowing Caleb to continue to twist the blade inward. The forest then exploded with a blinding white light as the shadows burst into swirling smoke. As the light faded, the smoke became a fine mist rising into the air, and then dissipating entirely. The werewolf collapsed in the leaves, convulsing, and shrinking back into human form. It was revealed to be a young man, barely 20. The brand marked upon his chest began dissipating into the air.
Dear God.
The Shadow Magus's form crumbled into dust, dark as charcoal. The wind scattered him throughout the trees, and the bond was now gone. The thread terminated. But the cost...
Dana's gone.
We'll bring her home. I promise.
Port's gonna be hell to write.
Some truths never make it on paper. Best let this one stay buried with the shadows.
What about him? The kid?
The once werewolf laid on the ground unconscious and naked. The gentle rise and fall of his chest indicated his survival through the madness. A single tear streamed down the side of his face, trailing from the edge of his closed eyes. The young man was reminiscent of one of the missing hikers they'd been searching for this past month.
He was bound, controlled. He was a victim in all this just as much as everyone else.
Then what do we tell the public?
The truth. Just not all of it.
Within the next few hours, the remaining bodies were recovered. Injured officers were airlifted, and Officer Dana was covered gently with the utmost respect. 2 teams entered the Blackwater Ridge Forest, and only 5 investigators returned. The official report would list the cause of death as an animal attack. It wouldn't mention the breathing shadows, the all-seeing Shadow Magus, or even the werewolf who cried when he became human again. Some truths were too dark for daylight, but back in the trees, where the rain whispers through the branches, the forest remembered everything.